Well, something's not right here. Just take it from the beginning. What has happened here? Well, other than Paddock has gone missing, which is obvious.
We literally just got here on the planet. We were trying to get in with you for completely unrelated reasons, and we happened to be invited to visit here. And it's when we heard that Mr. Wicks had gone missing, and then this whole thing happened. I just wish to know what this is about. And he points to the thanks.
I think we all do.
I might as well
to explain the experiments.
Kesh looks a little she looks a little nervous. Roll another insight. 15. So Kesh is gonna say, Chief, she bows her head. I have no idea. This lab, this is my first time seeing it, which for you is really odd, because Kesh was the one who actually built this facility. Like, she was the one who oversaw the building of this thing. So why she wouldn't know that this wing exists is really suspect.
Just thinking emoji. Just
Dia Chase is coming up now, and her biotic energy is like swarming around her violently, and it's like shaking and crackling. She's like, "This fucking bitch tried to kill me, ruin my outfit, so I will break you." And she's like really angry, and she's like coming up, and her stilettos like knocking against the floor, and
of course she was in high heels.
Of course, you have to go to combat in high heels, okay? And she looks at Arkara. Are you seriously gonna believe this lady who tried to kill us, who killed? And she points at the Salarian over there. Shot him with her damn gun behind us.
Drac will pipe up and say, Enough! Chief, who are you going to believe? Kesh, who has been one of your trusted scientists along with Paddock, or a bunch of random cross-dressing strangers?
Right now, these cross-dressing strangers, as you put it, have compelling arguments, and also, Kesh, you seem to be lying to me. I do not appreciate that. You built this place. You would know about this.
She says, I created the blueprints and the plans, but I'm not the person who physically constructed this area. It could have been anyone.
That is no excuse. You know more than you're letting on.
Nathan will now pipe up. Miss Arkara, may I tell you something?
Go ahead.
He will very slowly and non-threateningly, hands up in the air, walk towards you and whisper something at you if you don't stop him.
No, she don't. She allows it.
Shayas Lazine sent us here.
Arkara just gives a minute nod and looks down at Kesh again. So what'll it be? Spit it out, Kesh.
She says, Chief, you don't understand. This is for the good of all Krogan. We had to do it. We were dying, and the cure wasn't fast enough. And with everything that happened to Palaven, it just seemed like the proper time.
And you didn't even think to bring this up with the rest of us? Bring this to all our people?
She pauses for a moment. And Nakmor Drac says, Chief, you know very well that the Turians, they got what was coming to them. It was karma what happened over a Trebia space system.
Don't you speak bad about them in front of me, old man.
Dia grabs him with her. Can she try to like lift him up and slam him down with her biotics? Is that possible?
You can try. He's really heavy.
Oh,
Nathan literally outbursts and shouts at him not to speak bad about them in front of him. Probably a wisdom roll because it's based off.
Okay, so I have a +5 to my attack. Just a wisdom roll, wisdom check, or
yeah, and remember to add Otto's bonus.
okay. And so this is since this is an attack, is it okay if I can use my attack bonus?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Plus 5 plus 3 is 6, 7, 8 plus 8. Okay.
25.
Ooh.
Yes. Dia, why don't you tell me physically what happens to Drac? What do you do?
Her biotics flare out, and it's almost like a volcano erupts as bionic energy surges out from her. Her eyes turn blue as she raises Drakmar up into the air, like a feather, really. And as he goes all the way up to the ceiling, she smashes him down into the ground, indenting into the floor as he's pressed against it, blood pouring out of his body as he's cracked against it, and she says, "Say that again, mister. This cross-dressing bitch has you on the floor. Now let's start being honest." Yeah?
Arkara will just slam her fist into the closest surface and go, "Enough!" And you chill out, pointing the gun at the biotic.
He is also over here, so there's that. She's still behind the canister this whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to move her. Oops.
Yeah.
Kesh will kneel down. She will kneel down with our arms up, and Drac still has his face planted in the ground, so he can't say anything, but he's going.
If we're gonna have a discussion, you're all gonna be playing civil, or I'm gonna have to bring in my entire herd of children in here because they're more well behaved than you are.
We don't really have time for long discussions, however.
We have proof, Pip says, looking at Gimmick. You have proof, right?
Yeah, I have.
Kesh and whoever else was involved in this planned on poisoning Otto's entire food supply, so that way he could spread this disease among the entirety of the Solarian race, causing them to basically not slowly, very quickly burn out.
Kesh?
Are you going to show Gimmick? Are you going to show Arkara the files?
Yeah, Gimmick would show the files, and also we show the a video of what happened when they discovered the place and they were attacked by them, as if they were protecting the place, that they weren't running experiments in it.
Yes. So basically, what you will see from the files is that, and I think you were actually able to process the files more, Gimmick, so you got even more information from what you saw before, that this lab was created secretly so that they could come up with a plan B, which is the Revenophage. The Revenophage is a mutated version of the genophage that specifically affects Solarians in particular. It does not cause the Solarians to become infertile. It actually makes the offspring of Solarians that are infected by the Revenophage, their offspring will have accelerated metabolism. So Solarians already have a very fast metabolism. This increases it significantly more, which means symptoms include sudden weight loss, anemia, fatigue, elevated heart rate, irregular heartbeat, insomnia, dystonia, shortness of breath, muscle weakness, excessive sweating. Basically, the Solarian lifespan is also cut to a fraction of a lifespan, and Solarians already have a short lifespan to begin with. The plan was for them to introduce this virus, or whatever you want to call it, the Revenophage, in Otto's food, and they specifically made the lab here under your doorstop so that if the Revenophage ever gets discovered, it gets traced back to you. It gets traced back to Nakmor and Otto, which would basically incriminate not only Otto, but also incriminate you as well.
As I'm reading these files and figuring all this out, I'm just going to change from pointing my gun to the biotic down at Kesh.
Well, that was fairly effective as Nathan takes his helmet off.
This was all my idea, she says. Paddock had nothing to do with it.
Where is Paddock?
She says, he's dead.
I should have expected that. I'm not even sure why I asked. Ah, ye gods.
Paddock found the lab earlier, Chief.
Why are you doing this to our people? We are slowly building relations and you're trying to do this? You're destroying everything we're working for?
She grows very silent. And she says, it's not my place to give my opinion, Chief.
Well, it seemed like you thought so, considering you started doing something about a problem that is not necessarily a problem.
Everything here, it looks wonderful, it looks fancy, but it's all a lie. This is not the greatness of the Krogan that we believe in. And you're going to find out, Gimmick, based on your files, that Kesh is actually one of Reeves' spies.
Yeah, I guess I will divulge the information with the others. So, also, there is any cure that they discover, because usually they, when they discover create something, a venom or something, they make cures just in case. There is one in the files, or
not that you can find. No, there doesn't seem to be a current cure at the moment.
They already poisoned the food, or they're going to wait till the banquet?
It sounds like the food, bulk of the food, they're saving for the banquet itself. Okay. But it's possible that it could have been distributed earlier that day. It's possible.
Okay. Well,
now the fortunate thing is there didn't seem to be any other Solarians in the restaurant for lunch, because
except for Vito.
The Solarians are waiting for their full banquet for dinner, so they don't want to spoil anything. But so it seemed like the only Solarian that was there was Vito for lunch. So you might want to run some tests.
We're gonna need to do that.
Oh well.
We also need to act fast and. Yeah, but Gimmick would also divulge the spy thing and say talk about the possibility of Vito being like contaminated with this food.
Right, we're gonna have to get everything checked. Ugh. Let's get out of here. We need to warn Otto, poor thing.
Poor Otto.
Well, nice.
Anyway, let's get out of here. We need to bring this to light properly. They
Agreed.
need to be exposed.
What do we do about the kids?
Something tells me
find a way to either check them or just see if they're salvageable.
Something tells me that these poor kids aren't exactly. Let me put it as nicely as I can, Vito. These are the kids that they were experimenting on, so it's more than likely that they have this disease, which means that even if they did survive, it wouldn't be for long.
And there's
we
also
would need to get them tested.
Are they actual kids that were kidnapped, or they were created just for the cause of investigating this thing?
You should probably know that, Gimmick, considering you've got all the files on it.
Oh, are they?
Gimmick will look, and then these Solarians were born into the vessels that they're in. It's all they know. They've never lived or experienced life outside of these tanks. And you believe that if you free them from the tanks, they will not survive.
Oh.
They will not survive.
this is a complicated choice. Either way, it's just I wouldn't like to have to choose what to do with them.
Well, they haven't lived much of a life, and the moment they come out, they're probably just gonna die.
We should. There are hospitals here, right? Doctors that could probably look into it.
Well, what does our lovely Krogan psychopaths have to say on it? Is there any way to reverse this?
No.
Well, they say the same
that
of
way,
the,
or is it just because you haven't found it yet?
they say the same of the Xenophage, but they found a couple of cures, so I guess there is another cure. There could be a cure for it, right?
Maybe.
G-Mick, the thing is, there probably won't be one fast enough for these kids.
Well, they will still be alive if they stay inside the tube. So I guess we could try at least. But we could. They still have a chance if we let them be there until we find the cure.
Well,
we can talk about this after we
Yes.
after we stop this whole buffet thing. Because if it spreads, then it's too late. So let's go deal with that first, shall we?
The human has the priorities, right? If they've survived this long in the tubes, they'll survive a little longer. And I promise you, I will put my most trustworthy, eyes cash, advisors and scientists on getting them out if they can.
Is Paddock Wix's body still salvageable? He says to Kesh.
Kesh will nod towards one of the back rooms.
He deserves to be buried, unlike you guys.
Wow, that was rough.
Life is rough, Gimmick. Welcome to it.
Or you only know the half of it, you guys.
You will go into the next room, and as Kesh described, you will see what appears to be a body bag of some sort. And if you unzip the body bag, you will see Paddock with a clean bullet hole through the chest. It looks like he died quickly, almost as if he didn't see it coming. But all vital signs are gone. He's been long gone and dead.
Yep, so zip up the body bag, grab this body bag, grab this poor fool over here who also got shot, and let's get the hell out of here.
The other one has any vital signs?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yep, let's just get the hell out of here.
Arkara's just gonna grab both Drac and Kesh by the scruff and basically drag them out of there.
Dia lets go of the biotics so she can do that.
Having a little bit of dignity, Kesh and Drac will not fight the chief, and they will just go, accepting whatever fate will befall them.
Vito's, when everyone leaves, Vito's following in the back, kind of lingers a little bit. Looking at the tubes, follows out.
Dia takes a look at Vito but says nothing.
You guys will make your way to the surface, and you will arrive at McOtto's. Now, it's now nighttime, the sun has set, and you see all these Solarians dressed up very formally, a lot of dignitaries, including the Solarian counselor. And I guess Arkara is going to immediately make her way into the back kitchens.
Yes.
Just to clarify, Nathan didn't bring the bodies with him. He left them with somebody.
While doing that, could I call for Brom?
Yes! Brom is actually hosting this evening. So Brom is at the front, and as soon as he sees you, he will say, Mother, I take it you've come to greet the Solarian dignitaries?
In just a moment. I will need to take care of business first, but could you maybe stall for a little longer? As I said, there have been complications, let's just say, and I need to talk to Otto.
Of course. Absolutely.
Thank you.
You go into the kitchens, and as soon as Arkara does, so as everyone had seen from the kitchens before, you know, they were all heads down working. As soon as Arkara enters the room, the entire kitchen stops. Everyone stops at their station, and then they turn around and give the chief a very respectful bow, and they wait for instructions either to say as you were or whatever it is that Arkara has to say.
We all need to stop this. We need to make sure we make new food or something else. Otto, where are you?
Otto emerges, and he's so cute. He's got a big giant tux, like a big giant tux, and he's got a little bow tie, and he's sort of, at the moment he had his like hands behind his back, but as soon as you call out his name, he like looks very, very worried, and then he walks over to you, and he says, confused with great confusion, Arkara, what is the matter?
We have a problem, Otto. Apparently Kesh has managed to manufacture some sort of, I guess, a revenge plot towards the Solarians, and was intending to use your food as a transport vehicle for it. We have no idea how much of your food is contaminated at this point.
With great confusion, Kesh poisoned my food?
Yes, apparently she has been working for Reeve this whole time. And they're not very fond of our diplomatic efforts.
Tonight of all nights, it was a very important night. I was looking forward to serving.
I know this is disastrous, but I have no idea how to test the food yet. I haven't been able to get a hold of any of our other scientists, and I don't know who is corrupt and who isn't. Do you have any sort of backup? Do you know any way we can salvage this?
We have a storage unit that I know has not been touched by anyone except myself within the last week. We can probably make everything again from those, but it'll take time. What should we tell all the guests? They're going to be starving.
We can leave that to Brom. Brom is good with words.
I can help Brom out if you want.
That would also help, and I think it might be worth it if I talk to, well, the important people. The counselor, at least.
I can help with that if you'd prefer.
Any help that could help legitimize this thing other than showing them the exact evidence, because I'm not ready to give them all the information just yet. We need to clean this. We just need to clean this out of our ranks before we let move any further.
Whatever you need me to do, Arkara, you got my help.
I have no idea who you are, but I'm thankful for your help. You've been most helpful.
Otto clenches his fists in frustration. He sighs, and then he turns towards the group of awaiting Krogan, and he says, with great authority, "Attention everyone, the food tonight has been compromised. Everything needs to be tossed away immediately. We are to use the secondary storage. Everything must be prepared once again from scratch. We must work very quickly, as we know that the guests here have been waiting for this evening. This is supposed to be a very special time, and I will not allow them to be disappointed tonight. Everyone get your game face on. This is going to be one of the toughest evenings, but I expect all of you to work your hardest and maintain the quality that Mikado's always has. Does everyone understand? Yes, of course, and without any complaints, without anyone like sighing or anything, they will toss all the food and do exactly as Otto says. Just like soldiers, they will just do exactly what he says without any complaints. Otto sort of takes his handkerchief and then he rubs his brow, and he looks very visually emotionally upset.
Nathan will approach Otto and place a hand on his shoulder in comfort.
With great sadness, the reason I wanted to become a cook was because I wanted to share something with the galaxy, something positive. Food is a universal language that everyone speaks. The thought of someone trying to corrupt it and use it as a weapon disgusts me.
I'll put a hand on his other shoulder. I know. Let me know if you need any of my children to come help you. I can go round them up.
I think we will need all the help that we can get. The restaurant is packed right now, and we were supposed to have started serving the hors d'oeuvres minutes from now.
I'll see if I can find Chaka and the rest of the kids. I'll send them your way.
You want me to go distract the counselor for a bit?
That would be lovely. Go and tell Brom I sent you.
Oh, and Nathan is my name. Nathan Callahan. Nice to finally introduce myself.
Arkara reaches out a hand and just, it's nice to meet you too. You know who I am, but Arkara, and a pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure. And he will shake Arkara's hand and immediately go distract the counselor because he is used to being a bureaucrat.
Are we all there right now?
Assuming so.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Also, question out of character. Would Vito and Arkara have met in person, or did everything go through...
Yes. So...
Okay.
Yes, so Arkara, I've already explained to you about Vito.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say at this point, you will recognize who Vito is. But I don't know if you will say anything to Vito this moment.
Not
or
just
save it for later.
yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Well,
Just yet.
Dia is going to approach Arkara, and sorry, Vito. And Dia's going to ask, I'm sorry to bother you, Chief Arkara. I do understand that you're busy with other things, and we can talk about our business later on. But I just wanted to mention one thing before we taper off for the evening. Please don't take those kids out of those tanks.
I don't intend to. Not until we know if it would be safe to do so. I'm not that heartless.
I know, but my gut's telling me that they probably won't survive for very long, and it'd be torture to have them experience life only for it to be taken away just as quickly as it was given. And yeah.
Considering some of my own history, let me tell you that while I don't have a fondness for tanks, personally, I know that they can be useful.
Arkara was always more of a fan of the glass cannon builds in Dungeons & Dragons.
So, back at the banquet, some of the Solarians definitely seem very restless because, you know, when you're hungry and you've been waiting for this feast for a while, of course, you know, some of the hanger is going to start coming out.
Get hangry.
So, it looks like Arkara's son is trying to distract them as much as possible and let them know that there has been something has come up in the kitchens. Rest assured, they are keeping it under control. They just wanted to make sure that the quality that they will be served is of the highest caliber that they deserve, all that good stuff, which seems to be helping a little bit. But if Nathan wants to jump in and help even more, he's welcome to.
Okay, so Nathan, unfortunately, is still wearing his full suit of armor, so it's not like he can, you know, go full bureaucrat and wear his suit around. So he is going to approach Brom and gently just tap him and say, "You want me to go distract the counselor for you? You can handle the rest, right?"
Sure, he says.
Okay, I think... When was the last time I saw the counselor? It was... Yes, I remember now. And he will approach the counselor with a big smile and open arms. "Ah, Madam Counselor, it's lovely to see you again. How have you been?"
Well, the counselor's male.
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking of the one in... Yes, I'm thinking of the wrong one.
That's the one who replaces the male one.
Yes. Sir Counselor.
But the guest that he brought is that female.
Yes.
So Valern is the male, and then the female guest that would have replaced Valern if he was killed. Is Ashiel. But Valern is who you're speaking to, I believe.
Counselor Valern, nice to see you again. Ah, Assistant Ashiel, it's lovely to see you too. How have you two been?
His eyes light up a little bit, and Counselor Valern says, "Well, I do declare. Nathan Callahan here of all places."
Well, I heard that the original Mikado's was open for business again to outsiders, and I just had to come try the food. I got my lunch here earlier, actually. It was divine. It was...
Ashiel says, "I'm definitely looking forward to it. We were wondering if we were going to see any celebrities here tonight." "Yes, are you supposed to be one of the guest speakers?"
Yes, I am actually here as a guest speaker on I'm so glad JC just vanished.
Oh, good. She says, because...
I'm here on behalf of...
Are you going to be speaking before or after the meal?
I will be... basically, I've been told by Chiefess Arkara that she wants me to be spontaneous. She wants me to find a good time. It could happen whenever, but I haven't found a good time quite yet. I decided I'd come over and see how you two were doing, since the last time I saw you was it last year's championship game you two were here, I think? Am I right about that?
They will nod. Ah, yes, that was a very good game indeed. And while he's saying that, off the corner of your eye, you're going to see Arkara's son sort of like waving at you, like, "Do it now." Like, talk now. Stall. Basically, Brom will say stall.
He basically sees Nathan's eyes go wide for a second, like, oh shit, okay. Well, now that we've caught up a bit, excuse me for a moment, and like, Nathan...
Ladies and gentlemen, Brom says, "I know all of you are waiting for a fantastic meal, and for your entertainment pleasure, we have one of the celebrity wolves himself, Nathan Callahan, here to speak to all of you. I'm sure he has some fine words of wisdom that will speak to all Solarians across the galaxy. Mr. Nathan Callahan." And everybody will applaud.
As Nathan's walking over, there's like a few bursts of biotic energy, like as like a show kind of thing. There's a few bursts here or there, and like he creates like a ball of biotic energy and spins it on one of his fingers, and like shoots it, and like it goes through like a makeshift, like it goes through like a hoop that was made out of biotic energy, and he just claps as he comes to the middle of the room. "Ladies, gentlemen, everyone who has been so gracious as to accept Chiefess Arkara's invitation tonight, I would like to personally extend my own thank you, as I feel like as a galaxy, especially after recent events, we should be pulling each other together at a moment such as this more than any other time. I recently lost my mother in the Trebia incident, as most of you know, and I firmly agree with Arkara's methodology in bringing the Krogan back to their roots and building them up from there. As somebody who grew up in poverty, I can see that she is a woman of intense integrity and hard work, which I have always appreciated. And I believe that everybody in this room has their bit to do to not only bring the Krogan back into the fold, but to give them the guidance that they were never originally given when they were brought up, when they were ascended to a level. I entirely believe that it is not all the Krogan's fault. As we all know, there are sometimes when you give somebody responsibility they aren't ready for, as I have before been given that, they will often fail. People will make mistakes, but I do not believe that they should be held accountable for the mistakes made so long ago. It is time for us, as a galaxy, to extend an olive branch and accept the one being extended to us by the Krogan people, by Nakmor Arkara. I was not around during any of the events that led up to this particular moment, but I am firmly believing that generations down the line will look back at these nights, look back at this banquet, look back at what Otto himself has done for the Krogan people, and we shall see what the galaxy will become with the help of the Krogan. Thank you.
There is a round of applause, and just as he finishes his speech, the first round of hors d'oeuvres are being brought out, and they are going to start eating.
Yummy!
Did just scan for the what is the bioweapon in the food, just in case?
I'm sorry?
Did Gimmick scan for the bioweapon?
Yes, he can.
Okay.
He can scan. But you will find that this food is not contaminated in any way.
Yeah, that's...
Yes,
I want to
it's
be
fine.
sure.
Dia is going to take Vito aside. While Nathan was doing his little "we all love each other, we all people" shtick, and he's going to ask Vito very bluntly, "Are you okay?"
Should I be?
Probably not. Do you need a hug?
Yes.
And Dia opens up her arms to give Vito a hug. And as she does so, the Dia side of her persona just slips away slowly as Logan starts to come out, and he whispers into Vito's ear and says, "You have friends, okay? You have your husband. You'll be fine."
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Well, this is really what I expected when we've been told we were to go back to Newchunka.
None of us died, at least. And, well, we haven't really accomplished anything of what we're actually supposed to be here to do, but I feel like we'll be able to do that the next day when Chief Arkara is less, all over the place.
Probably. I just should probably get a blood sample.
Yeah. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. Don't think negative thoughts. Okay? You're gonna be fine. Just say it, repeat after me. You're gonna be fine.
You're gonna be fine.
You're gonna be fine. I'm pretty sure you're sick of food right now, so let's see if Otto has any ice cream.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Before, if this is still in the kitchens, I suppose Arkara is still there. Okay, Well, before going to scavenge for ice cream, Vito turns to Arkara and kind of bows a little. For all that's worth, I kind of wish us meeting again would have gone a little better.
Well, our meeting's not over yet, but we'll talk later. When all of this debacle is done.
Yes. If you'll excuse me.
Of course.
Arkara, the rest of the evening is a great success. All of the Solarians seem to really enjoy their time, and the counselor will actually approach you along with his guest Ashiel, and he will approach Arkara and take her hand in a sort of a shake and says, "Chief Arkara, I have to say, that meal was the best I've ever had in my life. This entire event was a genius idea. Excellent, excellent idea. Thank you so much for having us here as guests. It is very, very difficult for us to picture Newchunka as being hospitable at times, but you, of course, the things you have done with Nakmor have been beautiful. The entire galaxy has been watching you ever since the last decade, and I have to say we are very pleased."
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy your evening here. And we do try. We're working on relations, and I do hope Brom has treated you well enough.
Yes, everyone here has been so accommodating, and if you allow us to, we definitely would look forward to coming back again.
Most certainly. You are definitely welcome back.
Well, if you are ever back in my home space of Surkesh, I guarantee you that we will also open our arms in hospitality towards you anytime you'd like.
I do appreciate that, and I will probably take you up on that. We could use a little bit of help every now and again.
How are things, by the way, coming along between you and, well, I guess the traditionalists is what they're calling them?
We are having some bumps in the road, but it is to be expected. Some are just a little bit worse than others, I would call it, but we're handling it. We should be fine.
Are the rumors between you and me, he says, I was just curious. Are the rumors true about some of the proposed Newchunka, I think is what I've been told. So there's been some of the meetings that you've been given, Arkara, is a debate with your advisors on whether or not you guys should continue trying to restore Newchunka, even though it's probably going to take a very, very long, arduous process to restore it, or if you guys could try to start fresh in a clean slate and take back another planet and call that the new Newchunka, or you may not call it this way, but some of the outsiders call it Newchunka. There is a planet called Gelix, G-E-L-L-I-X. It's located in the Minos Wasteland, and Gelix was originally given to the Krogan after the Rachni Wars, but bitterly contested in the Krogan rebellions and reconquered by the Taurians. This left the Taurians as caretakers to a levo amino acid based world that they could not really inhabit themselves, but they were unwilling to give it up. Well, before the tragedy of Trebia, some of your advisors were suggesting the possibility of negotiating again with the Turians upon your good behavior, if they would allow you to take Gelix back, because the Turians aren't using it, they can't live on it, and maybe start anew and call it Newchunka. However, because of the recent events of what happened in Trebia, they felt that bringing that up right now would be a very sensitive time to do so. So at the moment, that's being tabled for now, but the proposal is still there. What this person is asking you is what Arkara's stance is. Does she want to try to stay in her homeworld and just try building up her homeworld, or does she think it would be smarter to start afresh on a new planet?
I think there is merit to starting afresh, especially now that we're starting to have newer generations again. But there's also merit to knowing where we're from, so both suggestions have merit, but I lean towards starting fresh because that could help us get rid of all these things that tie us down in old traditions that are not necessarily useful to us anymore.
Well, what if you do decide to try to take back Jelix, negotiate back Jelix, please feel free to reach out to me. I, on the council, may be able to help pull a few strings. Sparatus, as you can imagine, has a lot on his plate right now, but when the time is appropriate, I may be able to help convince things and put in a good word. The least I could do for the magnificent meal that you provide.
That is very much appreciated. Thank you ever so much.
He will nod, and Ashiel will also give you a bow politely, and they will leave. Later that evening, after all of the stuff going on with the banquet is over, Otto is, of course, exhausted, so he's probably going to turn in early. Your kids are probably also exhausted, so they are also going to turn in early. However, you as the chief will have to figure things out with these people. So it'll be later that night. It's probably going to be 10 o'clock-ish in the evening. Maybe closer to 11, but 10 o'clock-ish. But Meridi will be waiting for you, and she will greet you with open arms. Hi, dear.
Oh, hello, darling. I've missed you.
I've missed you too. And she gives you she pulls you in for a big squeeze and a kiss on the cheek. The kids say hi, and so does Sallow.
Be sure to give them my regard when you get back.
They were wondering when was the next time you were going to come visit. I told them that you are very, very busy, but if they were very good, you might show up and surprise them at some point.
Have they been good?
Well, around me, they're always good. Well, around Sallow, let's just say they have him wrapped around his little finger, their little fingers.
They usually do, don't they? I'll try to make time as fast as I can.
Well, I'm sure we have plenty of time to catch up. I have a few new schematics that I wanted to show you. Ooh. Just to give you a little bit of a sneaky peek, she says, as she holds up her like Omni tool in front of you, and you can see schematics for some beautiful boots, Krogan boots, that have that are actually jet boots. They act as they actually allow you to hover up in the air for several minutes and maneuver around in the air.
These look interesting. We're gonna have to have a closer look at those.
They're still a prototype. I have had them tested, but would love for them to be tested on the field.
Well, you could always talk to Miri. She's always up for that, you know.
She says, I figured she would be, that would be right up her alley. Well, at any rate, like I said, we can catch up again soon, but I believe these people have traveled all through the galaxy to speak with you about, I have no idea what it is, but seeing how they handled their day earlier, I would say we probably should keep an eye on them.
Agreed. But yes, let's talk later.
Casually smoking.
I turn it to you, she says to Dia. I have done my job. The rest is up to you.
Thank you, my dear. And she just saunters through. And she goes up to Arkara and she's going to ask, hello, my dear. As I'm probably sure you know already, we're here on some business to discuss with you. And we're here about... We as a group have been formed by a lovely acquaintance of both yours and mine, Shia Sazim, and we are here formed to discover what exactly happened to Paladin. And currently, while we're on this planet, is to look for one of our own members, a Volus by the name of Kovalan, a Volus Justicar. And I was wondering if you had any knowledge about that.
So, to let Jesse know, Kowalan was a Volus Justicar who did approach you on behalf of the Justicars. He was sent on a mission to investigate a prisoner of some sort, a prisoner that supposedly tried to escape at Newchunka, and the last tracking they had, the last they were able to spot said prisoner was entering into one of the temples, one of the Krogan temples in one of the ancient cities. And so he asked for permission to pursue said prisoner with the promise that he would leave the temple undisturbed as much as possible.
Well, I have had interactions with this Koalan. Why do you need him?
Shias wants him to be part of our team.
Well, Shias has been collecting misfits all these years.
I'm not a misfit. I'm a goddess.
Of course you are.
No, I'm definitely a misfit.
I'm just as an insert, Dia said that with a huge amount of flair, so she was kidding. So
he just gives Arkara a smirk and says, "Yeah, I'm definitely a misfit. No argue there."
Well, we all are in one way or another if we're involved with Shias. Yeah, I have my dealings with him. He asked to enter one of our temples in pursuit of someone, a prisoner, I believe he was referring to him as. So I would assume that he's still in the temple because I have not seen him since.
You know where you obviously know where the temple is. Would you mind telling us where it is so we can go retrieve him?
What is Vito doing at this moment now that they're asking permission to go to a Krogan temple?
Vito's looking royally uncomfortable right now.
Arkara's just side-eyeing Vito.
Yeah, not looking Arkara in the eye. Yep, avoiding eye contact, avoiding face contact. He's just like looking at his feet.
Arkara is pointedly side-eyeing Vito, just with a small smirk. Well, if you can keep that one in check this time around, then I might be able to provide you with the location.
This time around?
Yes, I believe you were involved in, let's just say, disrupting one of our temples at a previous excavation, were you not?
Vito's just looking like he's about to bolt. Like he's really not comfortable right now.
Anyone who's looking at Arkara can clearly see how much she's smirking.
If a Solarian can sweat bullets, that's what he's doing right now. Well, I've gotten more experience than I had then, and I promise I will not touch anything.
Well, I suppose that is a start. Your companions here do seem quite competent, I would assume.
Oh, thank you.
Vito's like in his mind, like, and I'm not.
Don't worry, Vito. You help. Sometimes.
Thanks.
Pip says, the chief just called us competent. Oh, well, we'll definitely take that.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Arkara will let out a deep laugh and just put a hand on Vito's shoulder. It's fine. I know how accidents happen. And having seen you today, I do believe you meant no harm. Otherwise you wouldn't be here again, would you?
No, I probably would not.
You're okay, kid. You're okay.
Aww. If you're curious, by the way, Nathan's cigars smell familiar. They smell like a certain cyborg cigars.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
well,
interesting.
This is sentimental.
What? And they're Asari cigars, so.
Of course they are.
Well, actually, I don't particularly like this brand. It's the cheapest stuff I could get, and I'm not really interested in like smoking the really expensive stuff right now. So it works.
Saving it for the special occasions, are you?
Well, I think that after my speech, I might deserve one.
It was a good one.
Oh, thank you.
So, on that note, I'd say we shall go do it to our own business then.
Yes, I'll send you the coordinates for the temple.
And just a fair bit of warning. We don't know what happened to Palvin as of now. But, well, just in case someone did end up causing that supernova, please keep an eye on your son.
Oh, yes, I will. Considering what I've been through, then yeah. I think I have a few people I can call on help.
Well, if you need me to distract dignitaries, feel free to call me. Otto has my contact details.
Oh, I will. You handled that nicely. I might need to send Brum your way. He could learn from you.
Yeah, I don't think. All right, I could use an apprentice.
Can I ask a question, Chief Arkara?
Certainly.
Is Otto single?
As far as I know. Do you feel free?
Keep
I'm
him
not sure.
single. I have a friend.
Hey.
Well, I can't talk for him. He will speak for himself. He's a good man, though.
He is.
Yeah, gives her a look. Just that, yeah, right look.
I will also say his food is magnificent. That man he's a wizard. I don't know how he does it.
He is. He always has been.
Well.
Okay. So, I think if I remember correctly, Vito wanted to get his blood checked.
Yeah.
Just to find out how much left he has to live. So,
Whoops.
I'm going to... Oh, just in time for Astra. So,
Yeah.
Astra, are you there?
Yeah.
Sorry, Astra, we're wrapping things up because I know you have to go.
Yeah.
But I wanted to assume that you were going to take a scan of Vito's blood. Can you, just out of curiosity, can you roll me electronics, please?
Electronics or medicine?
Medicine. Actually, medicine is more appropriate. Yeah.
I thought you were going to have a veto roll for that.
Yeah, I was thinking of leaving his own fate to Vito, but it's just to know if he is, it doesn't matter if I roll good, right?
Well, you might as well roll and find out.
Yeah. Are you ready for this, Vito?
Well, it's now or never.
Okay. Cross your fingers.
Okay. All right. So this is what you learn, Gimmick. There's bad news and there's interesting news.
Oh.
I'll start with the bad news. The bad news is the food that Vito consumed did, in fact, contain some of the ravenophage. And that means the ravenophage is inside Vito's system.
But he's immune?
No. The interesting news is that he seems to be immune.
Yay!
For one reason and one reason only. It's because half of Vito's DNA is not Solarian. Half of Vito's DNA is actually human DNA.
Holy shit! That's why it worked so well. That's why I managed to turn Vito into a human girl. Okay. What's the phrase? She's got it? She's always got it?
She's got it.